Hello, everybody. It's Boxing Bros UK here. I'm his Chris. This is my co-host, Andrew the Boxing Brain. Today,
hi guys.
Riffin News, Volume 4, where rumours, potential fights, what's going on in boxing. We just have a little chat about a few topics and see what's going on in the boxing world. So, firstly, it's going to be a little bit of a rant. So I'm just going to show you guys a video here of Mr. Simon Jordan just making excuses for Tyson again. Let's go. Let's watch it.
Reached the mountain. I mean, I know some of the nonsense in the media created a backlash for him when he was put on Sports Personality of the Year, and people like Gary Lineker tried to ambush him with his views and get him to apologise for some of his beliefs. But he's never seemed to have a structured plan. Whereas Alexander Usyk seems to be very disciplined in everything he's doing and the reasons why he's doing it. Out of curiosity, we both picked Fury to win the fight against Usyk, didn't we? Who did you pick?
I chopped and changed. I led towards Usyk towards the end. When I was there at the weigh-in and he came up to the TNT stand afterwards and we did an interview with him. I could just see something about him, a confidence. No, it might have been the open workout where he stood there and he watched Tyson Fury, and it just looked to me like a man that just looked at him and just said, "What?" I know he wasn't doing much Fury, but he looked at him and just sort of said, "That's not going to beat me in a couple of
months."
And
who'd you pick now? Given the rematch is coming up, where are you both now?
I go Usyk again.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go Usyk as well, I think.
Yeah, I believe that the Fury that we saw in the first fight underestimated, over-egged his own belief system and convinced himself that he was going in against a lighter fighter and that he got himself into the mindset that he was fighting a rabbit, the Floyd Patterson mentality. Yeah. And I think he'll be better prepared this time around because I think this is all or nothing for Tyson Fury. If he doesn't win this fight, I'm not entirely sure. He's not an exhibition fighter. He doesn't need to continue fighting.
So, right, I've got to say it.
I saw a bit of that.
It's been bugging me. Like, this guy, he doesn't know anything about boxing. Anything. Right, Tyson Fury fucking lost.
No,
he lost.
Where'd you get that from?
Square.
Simon Jordan don't know anything about boxing.
Like, I think he was ill prepared and he thought he was going in again. No, he didn't think that at all. Why do you think Tyson Fury's game plan was to be light on his feet, jab and move? Because he thought that could beat him. He was saying all that shit to try and get in Usyk's head and throw him off. That Usyk thought he was going to rough him up, and he wasn't. He had a game plan. It was the wrong one, and he lost fair and square. He wasn't ill prepared and all that. Like, it doesn't matter how much you lick his ass. He's not going to like you anymore. He don't like you. Tyson Fury don't like to talk sport. Simon Jordan.
Do you reckon?
So it doesn't matter what you reckon, Chris? What you do, he's not going to like you.
Do you reckon? Because he flips though, Simon. Because I watch him and Spencer Oliver's talk sport unboxing little weekly shows and whatever they do now and again, and he was sort of cussing Tyson Fury and calling him a baby and this and they obviously lost getting the interviews with Talk Sport and all the rest of it, and he can't take criticism and all that might very well be fair. Now all of a sudden he's sort of almost gone the other way and seems to be trying to butter him up a little bit, knowing full well that it'll probably be clipped like we're clipping it and he'll see it in the hopes that he maybe starts chat. I don't like Simon Jordan flip-flops of his opinion so much. I'm never quite sure where he's at, really, to be honest.
Do you know why he flip-flops? Because he don't know what he's fucking talking about. That's why. So he says something and he realises, oh shit, yeah, that's not right. I was wrong there. So I better tell you, like, he's a fucking idiot. He's always, like, Tyson Fury can't do no wrong. He's pissed up, falling on his face in the pub. Oh, leave him alone. Why are people filming him? He just, there's something wrong with that guy. I think he wants to fucking give him some pipe or something. I don't know. Well, that's the little rant on there. So next, we have. It's been agreed. Yeah, it's been agreed. Let me see if I can find it. No. What can't speak, can't lie. Fabio Wardley. Let me take the banner off. Fabio Wardley and Fraser Clark have reached an agreement. It's on the British Boxing Board of Control website. The rematch is on, baby. It's on. Venue and date to be confirmed, but they've reached an agreement over money or whatever. So the fight is definitely on. The rematch is on, baby. What's can't speak, can't lie. That's on the British Boxing World Control website.
I've got a good idea for where the venue can be, but it'll be a bit unfair to Fraser Clark. Now Ipswich are in the Premier League, and Fabio Wardley's a massive hit. Let's have it at Ipswich's stadium, which for some reason has gone out of my head, the name of their stadium. Let's have it there. Why not? Fuck it.
That'll be a nice one for him, but then it'll look like he needs his fans to G him on for the win.
Yeah, true.
I'm glad they're taking the rematch because I didn't like the way Fabio Wardley was talking afterwards, like, well, I'll see what's going on. I thought, please don't do it. You need to rematch that straight away because he is good enough to beat him. And just like Fraser Clark good enough to beat him, it's still a 50-50 fight. There's no this is boxing. You shouldn't be running away from them kind of fights, man. You should be taking them. And he is taking them. No fair play to Fabio Wardley because it was up to him because he had the rematch clause.
Fraser Clark deserves it, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he deserves it. Ultimately, all said and done, he put on a performance. It was a draw, therefore deserves a rematch. Simple as that.
100%. So, quick one though. Let's do some predictions. We'll probably flip flop closer to the time. I'm going Fabio Wardley. I am. Again, I picked him last time. I'm picking him again to do the job. I think he would have learned from that fight. I think Fraser Clark's too old, and that fight would have took a lot of miles off the clock for him. And I think Fabio Wardley is going to become better prepared this time.
Yeah, I think I wrote Fraser Clark off last time, and he went up in my estimation. He definitely can punch a bit more than I thought he could. He definitely stepped his levels up. He showed good heart, good recovery. He showed me a lot of stuff there, actually. Obviously, I think Fabio Wardley's issue a little bit was some of his cut. He had his bad cut here, that scar tissue that hasn't really recovered, and hopefully they've got that sorted now. Because I think the blood was going in his eyes, and there's no excuse in it. But I think if he makes the right adjustments, does what he kind of did last time, but a bit better. I'm going for Wardley again on this one. I think he might stop him actually. So that's my prediction. But Clark did well. Clark did do well in that first fight. Yeah. He did a lot better than what I thought he was going to do.
And it's going to be a close fight. I think it'll be more of a tentative fight this time. They're not going to go all out war like they did last time. What a fight that was. Fair play to both guys. Yeah. So moving on, keeping with a UK theme for the Riffin news. The next fight that's been ordered by the British Boxing Board of Control. Same again. What can't speak, can't lie. English champion is Sullivan Dakers, and Moses Atuma has been put forward for the English title, and purse bids are going to be, you can see that there. Purse bids are going to be on Wednesday, 11th of September. Fight must be, and it all must be wrapped up, and fight must be on place by the end of January. There you go.
So, I guess my initial thoughts on that one are nowhere really to hide for Sullivan Dakers here. I mean, he won the English title. From what I remember, it was vacant at the time. He beat that Ismay, didn't he? I think it was vacant. Then he had a rematch with Webster and he retained it. and he beat Thompson before that. He's had three knockouts in his 9 fights. He's a little bit. Does he lack the power at heavyweight? I think the common consensus is that he does. Decent boxer. I'm going to say this now. I think you probably agree. I think he's going to get massively exposed against Atoma. I think he'll take him a few rounds, but I don't see any way Atoma doesn't win this fight. I think he wins this fight fairly comfortably.
Yeah, for sure. I just like Simon Dakers. Like, I don't know the guy, but like his fights are always a bit lackluster and boring, and he hasn't really. He's not really very skillful. He doesn't really hit hard. He's just a little bit below average on everything. Like he's just all right at everything, and his fights are just boring. And like he ain't going to be able to keep Moses and Tuma off. I think he is seasoned, experienced, so he's going to know a few tricks, spoiling tactics to drag it a few rounds. Probably taking more rounds than he's been in his career so far. Maybe 4 or 5 rounds or something, hopefully. But I can't see any way Solomon Dakers beats him. And it's not really, I don't think it's a step up, but it's a good fight for him. It's a title. Yeah. And hopefully he can move off onto the British and fight Fabio Wardley next.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head if Atoma might have been taking the distance once or twice. I could be completely wrong on that.
No, you're right. But I think it was when he was doing 4-rounders.
Yeah, you could. I need to look at his record again, actually. But to be honest, those 4-round, 6-rounders, that's when you're sort of trying stuff out, aren't you? You haven't got the time to sort of break them down. So, but this is going to be. I suppose if anybody's going to take in the rounds, that it could be this one. This could be. It probably is Atoma's biggest test to date. I think absolutely will be, but I still think it's just his hand speed, his power, his skill set, the momentum is on, the confidence. Look, I don't know. How confident do you think, Chris? If you're honest, I know we don't know him personally. How confident is Solomon Dakers walking into that fight? Genuinely, let's be real.
Not very.
Is he?
Obviously, he's getting on a bit as well. You got to think he's in his 30s, he's like 32, 33, something like that, and he's only at English title level. So if I was him, I'd just take the money and run and just try your best. That's all. That's what I do, really.
That's probably what he's doing. Obviously, he might be at home thinking, "Oh, I'm going to show the world. I'm going to expose. I'm going to do this," but it's unlikely. It's unlikely.
Doubt it. I think it's a nice little step up, a little title, and then obviously I really do. If they want to push Moses, I'm telling you now, I think he's ready for a Fabio Wardley.
I'll tell you what.
After this fight, or Fraser Clark, either or.
Without trying to sound like the legendary Frank Warren, and I know he's his promoter and all the rest of it, if he gets through Dakers comfortably, like wipes the floor with him, he's ready for that British title now. And Frank Warren has already quoted as saying that he's ready for it before Solomon Dakers. So there you go.
Yeah, and there is an interview out there where they asked Tony Fisher if he wants to fight Moses Atuma, and he did the old cop out. Yeah. We're both learning, we're both prospects, so that's a big fight for the future. And all I say to that is quack, because I remember when AJ. See, people don't give AJ credit and Dylan. Did AJ and Dylan White say that shit? No, they didn't. They went in there and they fucking swung it out for the British title. 2 hot prospects on the come up. They didn't say that. Let's wait till we're both world champions. So I hate that. I hate that talk. Yeah, let's let it build. That'll be a fight for the future. I hate that shit, man. Yeah,
because Johnny. Yeah, because they could come again, couldn't they? Johnny Fisher could come again, but it's just not going to happen, is it? It's not going to happen.
No. There's no way Eddie Hearns. And the thing is, I don't think Ben Salom would put Fabio Wardley. Oh no, Fabio Wardley's a free agent, so it's up to him who he fights. So I think I like Fabio Wardley. I think that he'll either fight Moses Atuma if he beats Fraser Clark, or he'll vacate the British title and try and fight for European honours and try and go for a world title. But he's kind of stuck because like AJ, Fury, Usyk, Dubois, they're all still there, and he definitely ain't ready for them guys. So it's just
tied up. Yeah. But it'd be interesting to see once he beats Solomon Dakers, which I've every faith he will. Be interested to see the next move, won't it? So definitely watch this space with our local Chatham boy Moses Rico Atoma. Watch this space.
So we're going to move on to a nice little interview with Eddie Hearn, another British fighter. But we're going to America this time. Okay, let's see what Eddie Hearn's got to say.
Is to be in unification fights. I've made a substantial offer to Marios Barros to fight Jaron Ennis. Let's see what he says.
Crawford Ortiz likely next for a Riyadh season show?
Maybe. We'll see.
And then final thing, I did an interview with Joe Cordina the other day, and Joe mentioned to me he's obviously got that desire to challenge a lightweight world champion there. You've had talks with Shakur Stevenson. Was anything piped up there?
Yeah, I've spoken to Joe about fighting Shakur Stevenson. Joe's up for it, but he also understands the challenge. Ideally, moving up a weight division, you'd probably want an easier fight than Shakur Stevenson, but Joe is at the age where he wants to be involved in the biggest fights in the sport, and if he feels like the opportunity's right, I'm sure he would take it, but nothing close yet.
An offer there, though? Offer on the table?
Discussions.
And then just one final one. Edward Jaffoy's had a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on that for Joe Cordina? Oh, you might. I can't. There's no sound, mate. One sec.
So yeah, I understand where Joe Cordina stands on this, and I understand where they're all coming from. You know, I saw this is off Twitter from Shakur Stevenson, and he said Zepeda don't want to fight just yet. That's allegedly being looked at in February. William Zepeda, according to Shakur Stevenson, his Twitter account. Cantina was drained at 130. He's a good fighter. He's a better fighter than what people think. And he's obviously trying to sell it a bit. So that makes me think the discussions are a bit further along than maybe what Eddie Hearn's alluded to there. I don't know. According to Shakur Stevenson's official ex-Twitter account, I think it was Facebook or Twitter, one of those two. I've got a few things on this because my first problem, Chris, is the marketability of this fight. Out in America, they barely know their own fucking fighters, let alone our ones. Like, Cordina's not a man. Cordina's not. He's not. I like him. I've always said to you, haven't I? I've always been a fan of Cordina. I thought the Kakachi fight. He clearly 135 going up to 135 is a more natural weight for him. But I'd like to have him a couple more fights before getting in there with Shakur, who's a Olympic pedigree, great operator. It's the marketability. I think out there, I just don't know how that fight sells. I really don't and I don't know if Cordina is going to be a good enough dance partner for Shakur Stevenson. The only thing I can think of is maybe they also think Shakur Stevenson could get a knockout there. Can he knock him out? And because we're all talking in the boxing circles, aren't we? That bit boring to watch. Shakur Stevenson doesn't hit hard enough. I don't know. I could talk about this for a while, but I'll let you come back in, Chris. But I've got a few issues with that potential fight. Is what I'm getting at.
The good news about this fight is it's going to be in the UK if it happens.
Oh, I was under the illusion it was going to be in America. Oh,
no,
hang on. No. So I was watching somewhere where I think I got the wrong end of the stick. But I think for the American audience out there, though, it's not going to do much for them, is it?
No. But this is where us UK fans, we show Shakur Stevenson how you get treated in England when you're good at boxing. You know what I mean? Like how Lomachenko came over.
Good point to
Errol
make.
Spencer's come over. Mayweather's come over. And then when he goes back to America, he's going to be like, yeah, I'll come back there again.
Crawford.
I'll fight the UK again. Crawford.
Didn't Crawford say? He said that it's absolutely fantastic over. He said, I don't want to misquote him, but he was saying how wonderful it was coming over and being treated the way he was being treated.
Yeah. Like he said, when I come here, because everyone remembers the Ricky Burns fight, like people stopping him, showing him love. All like he said, it's not like in America. Like he says, the UK fans are the best in the world. Like and they treat him like royalty when he comes over. Like he wasn't even coming over to fight. Yeah, he's coming over for I don't even know what. He's coming over to do like a speaking or something like that. I don't know what it was, but yeah. So it's going to be over here, but still, for me, for Joe Cordina's career, this is a slippery slope, yeah, because he just got battered bad by that Kakashi, lost his title.
The Apache.
Confidence.
The Apache.
Yeah. The Apache. He needs a confidence building fight. Like if he's just in it for the money,
100%, 100%,
take it, whatever. But if you really want to try and be a world champion again, you need to like pick your battles. And fighting one of the best fighters in the world, pound for pound, ain't a good idea. Like Shakur Stevenson is levels. He's a special talent.
Is Eddie Hearn doing his classic thing of cashing out his fighters already? Like, what's he doing?
Yeah, it's just. But to be fair, they've got their own mind. Like, because Eddie Hearn even said, like, obviously, I know it's not ideal fighting after the Kakashi fight, but Joe, I put it to Joe, and he's up for it. So if that was me, but I'm not a fighter, like I would just say, nah, I need some confidence builders. Like I can't be fighting him straight away.
I think it's a bit like what we saw. I know they're on a bit of a lower level. Well, actually, Denzel Bentley is kind of right up there. But we saw this with Derek Asadi, didn't we? He was presented an opportunity. The money's on the table. Would have earned good money this weekend from that fight, but would have needed 3, 4, maybe 5 more fights before stepping in with Denzel Bentley. Joe Cordina stepping up the weight, going to feel better at that weight. He's spoken about that. Why not have a couple of fights within 6 months just to get your feel, just to feel strong at that weight? And I don't know, I jumping straight in there with Shakur Stevenson. I don't know. It's a strange one, isn't it? If it goes ahead,
not good for his career. I don't think his trainer's not happy about it either. Do you know what I mean? Like, is Mark Tibbs? I think his trainer is. Or the two of them, I always get them confused. Mark Tibbs and another. But anyway, yeah, like it's just not a good move.
I can't remember actually.
If it was my career, I would not be fighting him. You need them confidence builders. Anyway,
is it Sims' trainer, Chris? Is it
Sims? Yeah, I always get Tibbs and Sims mixed up.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. No, well, just before you move on, I think the problem is, and you find this sometimes with the trainers, is that they're not having. It must be frustrating sometimes when because they have a close relation. It's important. The trainers bond with the fighter is really important, and if they're not always having much say, if he's sitting him down potentially and saying, "Look, I really advise against this," but doesn't have much say in it, it must be a bit frustrating for him, mustn't it? For the trainers sometimes.
Yeah, because obviously they know. It's like, well, and if your trainer tells you don't take this fight and you take it straight away, that your doubts are in your mind already. That
they know their fighter, don't they? They know their fighter really well, but I don't know. Anyway, that's a whole other conversation I'm bringing up. So yeah,
for sure. Okay, so there was a fight with Guadio Vianello against Makhmudov. The destroyer who got turned over in Saudi by Ajit Kabayel. Whoop, big up Kabayel. This one was interesting. I don't know what's happened to him, but since that Kabayel loss, is gone down the pan because the guy that beat him lost to F.A. Ajagba a few fights back, lost to Jonathan Rice, who's like an old American veteran, and Makhmudov who beat Jonathan Rice, and he obviously hasn't beat F.A. Ajagba, but it just seems like this guy wasn't really. I know we shouldn't go off triangle theories and all that, but it seemed like he had so many good wins. He beat Takam, he beat quite a few good fighters on the way up, and then he lost to Isaac Caballero, and he's just lost himself because he should have beat this guy really.
It's a really difficult one sometimes to kind of make out, and you know, and he had a big, you know, sort of was starting to develop a reputation. Was he the monster, the beast, the size of him? He looks like an absolute, you know, psychopath, doesn't he? And moving his head all the time and just looks. But I don't, you know, big stiff robot, isn't he? I don't know. It's really, I always find the psychology interesting, and I know fighters are often never the same once they've been knocked out, once they've been stopped, once that mystique has been lost, once that reputation isn't there anymore, then they can start second guess. Oh, am I really this destroyer? Am I really this guy?
Yeah.
You know, he got badly beaten up by Caballero to the body, you know, and he really had a number done on him. Is it a case, Chris, of just psychologically, it's just damaged him, and he's just not, because that should have been a fight really where he was looking good again on his comeback track. And I know obviously had his eye, look, you get caught, especially at heavyweight, and his eye was all puffed up, and you know, he obviously couldn't see the shots going. The doctor called it off because he couldn't count how many. I think he was holding up fingers, and he didn't know how many fingers was there. And look, maybe that's a bit unlucky, but he didn't start the fight very well anyway, Chris, did he?
Yeah.
It's not like he started the fight well, you know. So, yeah.
Well, if he's not careful, he's going to end up like being food for like Johnny Fisher and Moses Atuma and them guys coming up. Yeah.
He's going to be the European Kevin Johnson, isn't he?
Yeah. So that's his story. And the last but not least, Turkey Al-Sheikh. He loves Deontay Wilder. He absolutely must love Deontay Wilder. I don't know why, because I wish I could tell His Excellency that till this day, Bomb Squad guy is not there anymore. He's smoking ayahuasca, and like living a free loving hippie life. That guy's gone. So it doesn't matter how many chances you give him, he ain't coming back.
I'll tell you what, there's more chance, Chris, there's more chance of Deontay Wilder finding that killer him again. There's more chance of me finding $1 million under my bed than that happening. And I'm telling you now, there ain't $1 million under my fucking bed. So
who do you want Wilder to fight? Do you want him to fight? Because Turkey Al-Sheikh said, I want Wilder to have one more crack at the whip. Derek Chisora or Joe Joyce, because they're the ones in the running. Who?
Yeah, and a fan was calling it out, and Turkey Al-Sheikh said, you know what? Yeah, why not? Look, I'm going to answer the question, but I don't want him to fight anybody. I want him to retire and look after his family, and you know, he's got a lot of kids. I don't want him to fight at all. But I suppose. Is there one last couple of years hurrah from? First of all, he needs to change his fucking trainer. That's the first thing. For fuck's sake. Needs to get rid of Malik Scott. I think Malik Scott has cursed him. I think he would look. I think Chisora and Joyce is an interesting one because they kind of think he can look good against him. I think what would be the better fight for Wilder? I think Chisora hits hard. I think probably Joyce. Joyce, you know what? If Wilder's still fast, he's still quick, still got fast Still got a fast right hand. I'm not sure he's got the power it once had, because one of the reasons I don't think he's got the power in it, because I don't think he's committing to it like he did a few years ago.
He isn't.
Because he's worried about what's coming back, which is a problem. And I think with Joyce, you get Joyce is so slow. You might get some opportunities to land the right hand.
And because Joyce doesn't he doesn't have that one punch knockout power, so he's not going to time Wilder coming in. He does that. Joyce does that shitty like sucking rock and robots. He does that stuff. So I think for Wilder, I'd fight Joyce. If I was Wilder, stay away from Chisora, because you don't move your heads. Because when Wilder, this is what Wilder's strategy is now. You see him against Zhang. He puts his hands up and he closes his eyes pretty much. If you do that against Chisora, he's going to fucking whip one of them overhand rights in and knock you straight out.
I think Chisora would beat him, Chris. I really do. I
100%.
really want. I think Chisora, who's still got the bit between his teeth, would absolutely relish that. He'd be like, "Bring it on," because I think he would take the right. I think he'd take the right hands. He likes to slip. He's still got that. I know he's out on his feet after 2 rounds, but I think he'd have Wilder's number. I think he's got his number. Whereas Joyce, I think you'd have. That could be an opportunity. I mean, I didn't mind. I know people were laughing it off, but there was talk, wasn't there, about him going down to Bridgerweight and maybe fighting an Okolie. It'd be like the fucking battle of the technically unproficient, tall, wouldn't it? That would be an awful fight, wouldn't it? Terrible
that fight. Shelley Finkel has completely dismissed that, so that is not happening. It's not on the cards. But definitely for Wilder, I'd fight Joe Joyce. If I was Wilder, you don't want that Derek Chisora smoke, mate, because he will. I put if Derek Chisora and Wilder fight, I've got Chisora for the KO. 100%.
Yeah, same here. Just a question for you, Chris, and I'll answer as well. I just think this quite. Other than Joyce, because look, I think I don't want to see Wilder. I've seen enough now to think I just don't think he's there anymore. But other than Joyce, where else could he maybe get another chance, would you think, other than Joyce? Is there anyone else? Makhmadov,
No.
Who else
I'll be honest with you. I can't see Wilder beating anybody in like the top 15, top 20. Not anybody.
Even a Justice Hooney, but he's hungry on the rise, and I think even Justice Hooney would fancy
hell
it.
Not. I think
I don't.
F.A. Jagbert would beat him. He's finished.
Yeah.
He is finished.
Jagber's too powerful. I think he'd catch him. I'm trying to think of anyone around the top 15. Michael Hunter, I think he beat. Do you know what?
There's
Gerald Miller.
Nobody.
Gerald Miller. I think Gerald Miller would fancy it. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Put him in with that other bum, Jared Anderson. Sorry.
But that could be a good comeback fight for Jared Anderson.
risky, but
confidence
bit
builder,
bit risky for Jared Anderson, but it'd be a name on his record, wouldn't it? Yeah. I can't see it, but
I wouldn't say risky. There's no risk.
Yeah,
that right hand. He's not, like you say, he's not committed to it anymore. That right hand's gone, and that's all he had.
The problem is, isn't it? It's a massive problem if you can't commit to that. But in any sport, it was a bit like they call it dartitis in darts, right? This happened with Eric Bristow, and he couldn't throw the dart. And they this psychologist had to blindfold him. He literally get up to the ball, and he couldn't throw because he was just like paranoid. And I just think now you saw it against Parker, didn't you? Against Parker,
just wouldn't throw it.
I think. Yeah, so Oh, but Turkey obviously likes him. There's obviously something
He's got a
going
soft
on
spot
there.
for him, hasn't he? He's got a soft spot for him.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Yeah, I think
that's it.
go off into the sunset. Go off into the sunset. Enjoy your money.
Yeah.
Bless you.
But if you have to fight Joe Joyce, all right, that's it for the Boxing Bros.
Yeah.
Boxing Bros UK. Like and subscribe.